I have a chair now. Not sure if this improves things or not, but at least I'm not kneeling on the floor, which is like easier on my knees. And also, I apologize for the bad lighting, worse than usual. The light bulb over there burnt out. So I have like half the light I normally do, and the only reason you can see my face is because I have the light in the other room on and 2 book lights. That's my setup. I actually have like some photography lights, but those are a pain to set up. So enough rambling. You're here to hear me talk about Animorphs. So in this Animorph vlog, we're going to be talking about book 30, The Reunion. Family reunions, they're always such fun, nice, family, happy times, aren't they? By the way, we get a face reveal of Marco's mother, I think, in the mirror. You cannot see it, but I don't know. There's definitely a face there, but you can't see it because this is such a freaking grainy webcam. I'm gonna be re-recording all of these with DSLR and make them into a montage. So, hey, that's the rat food. Chloe, never mind. You've been snippy lately. You can eat whatever you want. Chloe, come over here. Come over here. Say hi to the people. Come over here. Hi. Yes, thanks for chewing loudly. This is Chloe. She's 14. She is a lab beagle mix, and she is very nice when she's not eating. How are you? No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can sit on my lap here. I don't think you can try, but okay. So anyway, in this book, it starts off with Marco skipping class because potatoes. Yeah, I don't like how the plot gets started. It doesn't make any sense. You could say it's destiny, and that is mentioned as a reason in the book for another thing. So I'm gonna say it's the Elemist because obviously everything's the Elemist. So because Elemist, Marco decides to skip school. Well, Marco's Marco. I'm sure he does that on his own time. But he also decides to go to the business section, and there he runs into his mom. I mean, Visser 1. I mean, his mom. And she whacks him with the suitcase, and he's like, she can't know who I am. But later we find out that she knows more than she lets on. She's always had suspicion that the Animorphs are humans. That these so-called Andalite bandits are humans. So it's possible that she does think on some level that Marco's one of them, but she doesn't get confirmation until the end of the book. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Marco notices that's his mother, and he freaks out, and he gets Tobias and Axe to go with him on a reconnaissance mission. So Marco, Tobias, and Axe kind of form a Freudian trio. And I find it really interesting. Now, Freud is obviously not the absolute authority in psychology, and a lot of his ideas have holes in them, and the way he comes to his conclusions is really weird. But a lot of his ideas are used as literary tropes, and some of them do have a kernel of truth in them. And the Freudian trio is used in a lot of things, and anytime there's 3 characters, chances are they're following the Freudian trio. So anyway, there's the id, which is the impulsive, instinctive sides of the personality, concerned with getting what it wants, and that's it. So the ego is what forms when it interacts with the real world and society's expectations and stuff start to influence the mind. These two are constantly in conflict. Now, in this case, Marco is the id, and Marco is the id, and I believe Axe is the ego, because Axe is the one mainly keeping Marco in check, and he's the one who's the most logical, concerned with doing what needs to get done rather than what anybody wants. And the superego is where morality comes in. And in this case, Tobias is the superego because he's the one who ultimately makes the decision, taking into account both Marco's emotions and Axe's logic. And they find out that Visser 1 is on the run from Visser 3, who is trying to get her arrested and killed for being a traitor. The Animorphs decide to use this kind of civil war thing against the Vissers. Well, actually, Marco has this idea to get the two Vissers to kill each other. And remember, Visser 1 is actually his mom. So, or at least his mom is being controlled by Visser 1. And he actually sees her while the Visser is in the York pool soaking at Kandrona rays. And she's like struggling against the restraints, and she's like telling the York to rot in hell, and Marco has this crisis, and he like almost goes to save her, and oh my god, that's painful to read. So he goes the opposite direction and becomes completely ruthless. And he decides he's going to get the two Vissers to kill each other by playing them against each other in this really complicated strategy that I can't really explain how everything works, but okay, so there's a lot of other details that go in, but basically Marco thinks that he's killed at least two of the other Animorphs, Jake and Cassie. We find out later that they escaped, and they swoop in, and Jake actually like knocks Visser 1 off of the cliff, and he holds Marco down, and Marco's like going crazy, and then we cut to later where Marco has become kind of his dad. We cut to Marco kind of mirroring his dad, like in a really painful way. He's listless, he does nothing but watch TV all day, and he rarely leaves his room, and the other Animorphs visit him occasionally, and then Rachel says that she never found the body, and that's really sad because Marco had never had a chance to properly grieve for his mother because she was taken by the enemy. She wasn't actually killed. Dad, at least, is starting to move on because he thinks she's dead permanently. But Marco knows that she's alive, and she's never really died, and that's like, how do you move on from that? It's still going on. And so at the end, it ends on a really downer note with Marco and Rachel watching a movie together, and Marco learning that there's no closure in this. His mother didn't actually die, and they're going to meet again. And they're actually going to meet again in Visser, which is the next book that I'm going to be reading.